Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at some brand new Spearhead boxes. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Cities of Sigmar and Flesh Eater Courts bolster their ranks with new Spearhead boxes. So very interesting to see that they are in fact going with the Spearhead. So obviously we saw Games Workshop do a bunch of Vanguard boxes previously. And for whatever reason, they are now replacing those Vanguard boxes, or at least the new ones that come out are no longer called Vanguards, but are being called Spearheads instead. So I do suspect, after seeing the Stormcast box come out earlier, and then now these two Spearhead boxes announced as well, that essentially with the new edition of Age of Sigmar, Spearhead is going to be the equivalent of Combat Patrol, and it'll be like a starting army / like game type of its own. The Cities of Sigmar and Flesh Eater Courts were the two latest factions in Warhammer Age of Sigmar to receive new miniatures. And with two new Spearheads coming out, you can build a solid force for either with just one box. So very cool. Right off the bat, we've got our two new boxes right here. We'll talk a little bit about the contents and just the overall composition. It does look like 17 models in the Cities of Sigmar Spearhead, and then 15 models in the Flesh Eater Courts Spearhead. Alright, so Cities of Sigmar up first. Unlike the Stormcast Eternal allies, the Cities of Sigmar go to war without supernatural powers, relying instead on grit, determination, and their unwavering faith in Sigmar, plus black powder by the barrel load. So very cool. Looks like a nice box right here. We do see a little bit of overlap from the launch box that came out earlier in the year, but we see some units that were not in there as well, and then of course some are missing. Spearhead Cities of Sigmar contains 17 miniatures led by a Freeguild Cavalier-Marshal. Alright, so we got the brand new Freeguild Cavalier-Marshal, mounted champion of your force. Very, very cool model. And then 5 Freeguild Cavaliers. So that is our mounted cavalry as well. Again, really, really nice models. Providing a fast-moving hammer to smash the opposition against an ambush of 10 Freeguild Steelhelms. So we see 10 of the Steelhelms right here, each armed with a shield and combat weapon. And then a Ironweld Great Cannon, unleashing roaring blasts. So we got the big cannon right here as well. So nice box overall. We've got a little bit of speed. We've got a mounted general. He'll be able to dish out some orders. It is a little light on the characters just because Cities of Sigmar relies so heavily on all the different characters. So you're definitely going to want some more of those. Also, having the cannon is nice, but maybe would have been nice to have some shooting instead of the actual melee. But really nice army right here. And we'll have to see how the new balance status slate pans out and what this is going to look like, because I'm sure we're going to see some changes to Cities of Sigmar after they performed so well recently. But really nice looking starting force right here. And you could easily put this alongside the launch box or just start a brand new army with this alone. Really cool. Definitely a big fan of this. The Flesh Eater Courts are tragic creatures, wretch ghouls ruled by powerful vampires, all trapped in delusions of chivalry and valor. Though the bloodstained horrors that their enemies see are the terrifying truth of their existence. So we got a nice new box right here as well. Spearhead Flesh Eater Courts comprises 15 miniatures, including an Abhorrant Archregent. So that is our Abhorrant Archregent right here. Really, really cool model right there, and nice piece in game terms. And his loyal complement of 10 Cryptguard. So we see the brand new Cryptguard right here, 10 of those as well. 3 Morbheg Knights bound in combat alongside a horrific Varghulf Courtier. Their frenzied assault, a grim parody of a rousing charge. So definitely a big fan of the new Morbheg Knights. These models are absolutely awesome. Very, very cool. And then of course the Varghulf Courtier as well. So really nice looking setup right here. 15 models. All but the Archregent are brand new. Again, we do see a little bit of overlap here from the launch box though, as all the rest of these models except for the Archregent were in that box. But I don't see any reason that you couldn't put this alongside the launch box as well. But really cool setup right here. Definitely some nice mobility, a little bit of speed with the winged creatures as well, and a decent little model count to get started with. I think this would be a good force to start off with. And again, really nice to see all new models coming out in both these box sets, with the exception of basically one guy. In the ongoing narrative in the Age of Sigmar, the crusading Cities of Sigmar have run headlong into Flesh Eater Courts, home turf of the new Summer Court, which can be read all about in Dawnbringer's Book 4, The Mad King Rises. Both Spearhead boxes will be available soon. Stick to Warhammer Community for all the latest news straight from the mortal realms. And there is a little star note down here that says the new name for the Vanguard boxes. So it does look like they're just swapping over the name. And then, like I said, I suspect that that's going to be like a Combat Patrol equivalence for Age of Sigmar in the new edition. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. So I am curious though, like why they decided to change the name. Maybe they didn't want like the actual Vanguard name used too much, as like Vanguard is kind of a game mode as well. So they'd rather have the Spearhead be the type of like game mode in Sigmar and not have the kind of like confusion with Vanguard. I'm not sure though. That is purely just speculation. But I do think both these boxes are definitely really nice. Big fan of all the new miniatures for Flesh Eater Courts. I think you could easily start an army with this or put it alongside the launch box and have a really good setup. You would end up with 30 of the new Crypt Ghouls, but I don't think that's crazy. I mean, they're essentially like a little bit upgrade of a chaff over like the regular ghouls, but it's not crazy to think that you would want 30 of them. You're going to need some warm, or in this case, cold bodies to stand on objectives and just get in the way of stuff. Really, really nice box right here, though. Definitely a big fan of these. I do suspect that this is probably going to come along with a price change, as it does seem like the new Vanguard boxes priced at $140 currently are probably going to end up going up to like $150 or $160 in line with the combat patrols. Not sure about the pricing on these off the top of my head, but I think that it's $60 for these. I want to say he's 40, so that's 100. 55 for the Cryptguard, so that's 155, and then I think it's 35 or 40 for him. So it's about 190 or so dollars in this box set. A lot of the other ones have over $200 worth of models in them, so it is a little bit on the lighter side relative to some of the older Vanguard boxes. But obviously we see Games Workshop kind of hitting us a little bit with the shrinkflation, tending to pull out some of like the larger like monsters and bigger creatures, and then just sort of fill out the boxes a little bit with more chaff. So we'll have to see what the actual prices come out on this if we get our sort of like beginning of year price increase from Games Workshop, and then we can kind of look at the actual value and savings a little more accurately. But definitely a big fan of this box set. I think realistically though, after the launch box came out and it basically has everything but this guy, a bunch more models, the cards and the battle tome as well, really shows off that that's the way to go. So if you can still get a hold of one of those, especially at a good price with a nice little discount, I think over this box, that's the way to pick it up. And then just back over here to the Cities of Sigmar real quick. So similar type situation. Now, all the Cities of Sigmar stuff in this box set is all brand new models. We haven't seen the actual cannon or the Freeguild Marshal in a discount box or set or anything like that. So it is always nice to see them coupled up. Again, I'm not sure of the prices off the top of my head. I want to say it's about $60 for the cavalry, about 55 for the infantry, like 40 for the Marshal, and then like 45 or something like that for the cannon. So I want to say this is right around like that $200 mark as well. And again, if it's priced somewhere around like 140 or potentially up to like 150 or 160, depending if Games Workshop hits us with a price increase before or when this comes out. Again, I got to say that the actual launch box for Cities of Sigmar is probably the way to go. Coming with like 20 of the Steelhelms. You still get the cavalry, a couple characters, and then of course like the battle tome and the cards and all that good stuff. So again, I would lean that way. But it's not crazy to think that you might use 30 Steelhelms and 10 of the cavalry. So you could put both of these together and not have too much redundancy. But it really does show you just how great of a deal those launch boxes are. So let me know what you think, what your speculation is, why they're changing the name from the Vanguard boxes. Let me know also if you think this is going to be a new like combat patrol type game mode when the new edition comes out. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. Gotta say, these are two cool new boxes. But it does look like they're a little bit light on the savings depending what the price is going to come out at. And as always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm a big fan of both these boxes. And I'm out of here.